I do like this aspect where you're the guy. This is your game. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. You're going right back out there. So I do like that approach. And even as I think of the timeline of everything, JJ getting hurt in the spring, I think, is what threw everything off, because
Sure.
you couldn't get an evaluation on both guys because one of them just wasn't practicing. And I think due to that, I think it's dragged things on a bit to where you could have some scrimmage live 1-versus-1 situations in the spring, whereas you're not going to do as much of that in the fall. So it kind of threw things off. But as I sit here today, I do like the approach that it's going to be, this is your game. You know, we're treating this game as if you are the guy. So go out there, play your best. You're not having to look over your shoulder. You're not having to worry about, man, I fumbled the snap or whatever the case may be. I'm going to get pulled. I'm not going to play the next series. This is your deal. And the thing that I like the most about it is I think both of these guys are going to play well, because I think Michigan is just so much more talented than both of these opponents. But the thing that I really like is to be a quarterback and make a mistake, whether it's an interception or fumble, but to turn the ball over and go back out there the very next drive, like that, to me, you can learn a lot about a quarterback after he makes a mistake. And what does he come back and do? Does he come back and try to turn into a hero, right? You know, I just want to hit a home run. Or does he come back, kind of reset things and say,
Or get
let me get
gunshot.
back in the offense. Let me just do my job, and we're good to go. Like, so I do overall, I do like it. I think the difficult part is going to be, what if essentially both of these guys play well? Like, where does that leave you for game 3? You know what I mean? So if, let's say, Cade starts first game, he throws for 350, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and JJ, plays the next game, he throws for, let's say, 400, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. How do you make a difference of, yep, okay, it's clear as day, the guy 1 or guy 2 is going to be the one. So I think I think, although I like the decision, I think it could potentially lead to more possible indecision, because because I think both of them will play well. So it's not, I would be extremely shocked if one of these guys comes out and has 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, or 1 touchdown, 3 picks, something like that. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. So if both of them give you an A performance, how do you then make a decision from there?
Yeah. So I mean, you're essentially in lockstep with me on that point. 'Cause that was the exact same thing I said. In terms of like, both guys play well. I mean, it would just at some point, either way, at some point, Harbaugh has to make a decision. You have to make a decision and just live with it. And I think there's a small factor. I don't know what percentage of it is that he is being indecisive, partly because of the, I don't know, likelihood is the right word, but the opportunity that one guy leaves, right? He wants to have both. He probably does like both. I believe he really does like both, right? One guy helped him have a really good season last year. It was very efficient. The other guy is a very talented kid, a kid that you don't really recruit there very often. Caliber a quarterback you don't get there very often, right? And you want to keep him there. Right. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's an easy decision to make, but you can't continue to keep pushing this, down the road. At some point, you got to pick a path. Right. There's going to be a fork in the road. You're just going to have to choose one. Right. Me and you talked yesterday after golf, and ironically, it was before this decision came down the pipe. We were talking about did Kirby Smart make the right decision? He actually between Jay Fromm and Justin Fields. Right. And me and you disagreed on that. I'm like, well, how can you say definitively he was wrong choosing Jake Fromm, even though Justin Fields is a more talented quarterback? I mean, it's not like he had he had really good success with Jake Fromm. Got to the college football playoffs twice. Justin Fields got to the college football playoffs twice with Ohio State. Both had really good careers, no matter how talented one guy was over the other. So, I mean, look, and then, you can argue if Justin Fields was there, maybe they win a national title. But at the end of the day, like, you have to make tough decisions sometimes as head coach when you have 2 starting caliber quarterbacks.